The world's tariff map is changing again. With US President Trump's new August 1st deadline approaching, major economies have just over 20 days left to strike deals with the United States.
And just on Wednesday, President Trump sent letters dictating new U.S. tariff rate on several more countries' import, including the Philippines, Brunei, Moldova, Algeria, Iraq, Libya, Sri Lanka, and Brazil.
But this week, President Trump formally notified 14 countries, including Japan, South Korea, Malaysia, Kazakhstan, South Africa, Laos, and Myanmar, that they face tariffs ranging from 25% to 40% unless they agree to buy more U.S. product by August 1st. Well, later the same day, Trump revealed that more letters has gone out to Tunisia, Indonesia, Bangladesh, and others, outlining the tariff that they will face unless action is taken. And Trump also said Tuesday that he's imposing a new 50% tariff on all copper imported into the US. So in this new scenario, who secured the deals, who's still negotiating, and who's racing against the clock? Among the group that has completed or provisional deals, the UK was the first country to ink a deal with the US. British cars now face a 10% export tariff. Its aerospace sector also benefited from the deal, but London is still pushing to cut tariff on steel exports. Last week, Vietnam and the US struck a deal. Trump announced a 20% tariff on Vietnamese goods and 40% on flagged transshipments. In return, Vietnam urged the US to recognize it as a market economy and lift tax export restriction. When not everyone has been able to reach an agreement, the EU's Ursula von der Leyen said it was impossible to reach a detailed trade deal by the deadline, but the two are working towards a deal in principle. India seeks to trade deal with the US but won't compromise its national interest and has proposed retaliatory tariffs at the WTO.
Well, yesterday, Trump threatened to impose additional 10% tariffs on India.
And talks with Canada resumed after it dropped its digital tax on major American tech firms. President Donald Trump has threatened to impose additional tariffs on any country that aligns with what he calls the BRICS group's anti-American policy. In response, Brazilian President Lula criticized the remark as irresponsible, stating the world has changed and we don't want an emperor. So what happens next? No one can say for sure. The UN said the Trump administration's decision to extend the negotiating deadline for tariff rates is prolonging uncertainty and instability for countries. So as August 1st deadline looms, the world isn't just responding to new tariffs, they're adapting to a more complex and uncertain global trade environment.